Join me on my journey to the Dutch Championships of Floral Art 2026. High stakes, big challenges, and unforgettable lessons. Will I become the next Dutch champion of floristry? Let's find out. Welcome to Behind the Blooms. This is our new monthly vlog series where we take you behind the scenes here at Boerma.
So the assignments are in. I already had a little look at them. The first one is a work based on the Dutch Masters. So my first question then is, any Dutch master, could be Van Gogh or could be, because usually when we think about Dutch masters, we think about Rembrandt and we think about those flower still lifes, right? If it can be any Dutch master, painter, then you can start to think a little bit more creatively. That was one subject, and another subject is this alpine car thing. We have to make an umbrella, and the umbrella doesn't have to be functional, but it will have to be used in the photo shoot with this car.
Okay.
So
fashion related.
Kinda, yeah. I can think of some cool things, and the umbrella can be maximum 3.5 kilograms. Well, the third piece that we can prepare is Iris van Herpen, and the young talents, the young people make a head decoration, and the professionals, we make something that can be from the fingertip to the elbow.
To the elbow.
Okay, a gauntlet.
Yeah, I guess.
So the 5 arrangements are a work inspired by a Dutch master, a floral umbrella that has to match with an Alpine A390, an arm decoration that goes with one of Iris van Herpen's dresses, and then 2 surprise tasks. 1 bouquet using flowers from decorum, and 1 small construction assignment using Ostromeria and or Campanula.
Okay.
So,
Lot to think about.
good luck.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
My good friend Frederik arrived to coach me and help me prepare for the Dutch Championships. Previously, Frederik coached Frank Roenhorst, who won the 2024 Dutch Championships. Back then, I didn't even know people got coached for competitions. But afterwards, Frederik told me that if I ever were to compete, he'd coach me as well. One of the things on the agenda was to go to Water Drinker for some inspiration. Water Drinker is a local cash and carry that is mostly a wholesaler for plants, but there's also a cash and carry on site for flowers called Dobbe. The things that are very rare in other countries, they are very much available here in this wholesaler. Some of the materials here are very inspiring, whilst others not so much. Not the biggest fan of painted flowers. I prefer the natural colors that nature and the growers work so hard on. So what I'm mostly doing right now is checking what is available, writing down the names and seeing if I would like something like this. One of the pieces we're going to do surrealism, and I think this is really good. And Paphiopedilum was my grandfather's favorite flower, so it's nice, symbolic. Yeah, but I didn't end up using it in the end though. This one is really good because I don't need water, and you can be very sure it lasts a long time. So it's very safe for a competition. So many options. How will everything fit together in the bigger picture? Of course, the list of botanicals we gathered is much too long, so afterwards it's time to edit. Every material has a function. A calm leaf, a hanging vine with a certain movement, 4 materials, lime materials, etc. We have to consider color and texture as well. Eventually, there might be 5 calm leaf materials on the list, but I only need 1. So we go back home, and afterwards at some point, I organize the list and photos I took, and I choose which ones I like best. In the end, this was mostly window shopping, but now my mind is full of new ideas. We've been doing a lot of prep. I've been working together with Frederik on the project a lot. And last week I went to Hanneke Frankema to do some training for the surprise tasks because I have absolutely 0 experience with surprise tasks. Of course, I won the VBW Flower Cup, but that's you make an assignment, you put it there, somebody judges it, you're done. But this time I have 5 assignments. 1 assignment
is, for example, the arm decoration over there that we have. It's with flowers from Marginpar. So I know that I have to make a structure that fits together with a dress by Iris van Herpen. But I don't know what flowers I get. I only know that they will be from Marginpar. So I'm testing different types of Marginpar flowers. Of course, I made this yesterday, so it's half dead. But this is just the test version. This is the real version over there. And the judge has to be able to take it off the arm and put it onto their own arm. So yeah, that's one assignment. This is another assignment. I have to make a design based on a piece of art by a Dutch master painter. And immediately my thought went to Hieronymus Bos, because that's my favorite painter in the world, from 1450 or something like that. And he was already making abstract surrealist work. Really influential painter that maybe not a lot of people know about, but it's absurd. Maybe we'll pop in some pictures of the works that he makes. Sometimes it's absolutely demonic, and sometimes it's absolutely angelic. So actually that painting with heaven and hell, that was made for the church. So when people saw that, they were absolutely blown out of their minds, and they thought, is this guy maybe a demon? What the hell is he making, you know? And there was one more task, the umbrella, and you saw us working on that. There's going to be flowers pierced on that, and it's going to be really interesting as well. But I'm still struggling how to hang this thing up. So that's one of the tasks. And then the two surprise tasks. I know I have 2 hours. I learned that yesterday night, because before I thought I had 45 minutes. So up until then I was practicing for 45 minutes to really get this done, and I'm not the fastest guy alive, but 45 minutes is really not a lot of time. But we managed eventually, and I learned a lot of tricks to be really speedy. But then last night, Hanneke sent me a message, yo, where did you get the 45 minutes from? You actually have 2 hours. So then I was like, whoa, what the hell am I going to do with all of this time? Suddenly it's a lot of time. Time is of the essence now, and we only have 2 more weeks, I think.
Yes, 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks in which I practiced a lot of surprise tasks and made sure everything was fully prepped for the start of the competition. I also did a bit of press, like an interview with the local newspaper of our new hometown, Haarlem. Full videos on prep and construction will be added to our Patreon and YouTube member exclusive sections, so check out our Patreon or become a member down below. Thank you to our members for supporting us and helping to make these videos possible. So, good morning. It's the day of the competition, first day. We're going to drive now to the Plantation where the competition is held. And yeah, so let's go. Excited to finally start, because waiting for 3 months is just a really long time to wait. My God. It was really nice that my family could help out, as we were allowed to have assistance before the competition started. Especially since I wasn't quite sure how much I could prep, as some of the wording and the rules could be interpreted in multiple ways. Therefore, just in case, I only prepped half of my plans. After arriving on location, I asked a technical judge to clarify, and they confirmed we were allowed to cut up the plants as we needed them. So, we got to work. We're looking for the rare perfect blue ones. And this looks like one of those. Wait a minute. At this point, you might be wondering, didn't this guy just tell me that he didn't like painted flowers? Well, yes, normally I'm not a big fan. However, I realized that this painted chrysanthemum from Decorum grower Arcadia Chrysanthemum was the perfect shade for 2 of my designs. First off, for the umbrella. The pinning technique I wanted to use requires flowers that can last well without water. Specifically, the task requires the flowers to be able to last for 2 days. The restriction of only using flowers that last well without water for 2 days eliminates a lot of botanical options already. Then, the fact that I wanted it to match with the specific blue tint of the car also eliminates a lot of options, because there are not a lot of flowers that are that tint of blue and are also able to last for 2 days. Then, for the Dutch master painter design, a lot of these objects in the paintings are a combination of blue and pink. So, I painted the structure that shade of blue. Coincidentally, the blue is almost the same shade as the chrysanthemum, so it just clicked for me that I had to use it. I also thought that making a flower arrangement inspired by a painting and incorporating a painted flower was a nice, logical connection. Alright, back to the video.
heb geen make-up of Wijnand. Ik wil niet dat je me filmt.
So no. Yes. Oh no.
Dit is de onderlaag klein.
Ja.
Dit is de onderlaag groot.
En dat verse plastic, heb je dat?
Verse plastic ligt hier.
So after some great help, the competition was about to start and I was on my own for task number 1, the Dutch Masters. Of course, I practiced this design many times at home, testing out placements of shapes and lines. However, as a florist, we work with natural materials, so while one heliconia might move in one way and have a certain size and shape, another one is going to be completely different. So on the spot, I still have to think about which material has the best movement and shape for that position. This also means that the designs will always look a little bit different each time you make it. All the while, Angelica stayed at the booth, very grateful for her support. Afterwards, she told me that it was hard because there was nothing she could do but watch, as she was not allowed to give any advice or remind me if she thought I forgot something, for example. Now, let's take a look at some of the competition, who are all working hard at this point. Really love this design by Connie van der Westerlaken. On the opposite side of our row were the junior competitors, and to be honest, they would have been fierce competition if we were not separated by age, as they were incredibly talented. We're about done with piece number 1, and I put some floral foam sand on top of my piece to cover and give it a natural looking finish, even though it's an unnatural product, using the last minute to clean my structure thoroughly. So, that was task number 1, done. All competitors were asked to display their piece in the main hall, where we'd pitch our concept to the judges and audience in English. We only had 60 seconds in total, which is not a lot of time, but I've practiced the speech a couple of times and we were allowed to have our speech on paper with us, so that made it a little easier. Ever since I studied art, I was fascinated by this Dutch master painter called Hieronymus Bos. Bos was basically the first surrealist doing surrealism hundreds of years before Dali and was a great inspiration for Dali and other surrealists like him. As you can see often that he pierces geometric shapes with botanical shapes. Colors also come from the painting, the blue and the pink, and the rest of the colors are more of a personal creative expression. Thank you very much. So we just finished the first task and then we had dinner and now we're ready for the final task of the day, which is the umbrella. First task, had some issues, but solved the issues and the piece was finished in time. And now we're going to do the umbrella, which I'm very excited about, feel very good about what I have. It's very easy to make, so let's see how it will hang. That is the big question. I feel like I just had a little bit, after dinner dip, but starting to get excited again because the time should be almost starting. So chill out for 5 more minutes and then time to go. The umbrella was another piece I was able to practice at home a couple of times. To keep it safe during transport and have an easy position to work from, I kept it in a box, resting on top of some pillows. There's about 200 pins on this umbrella, so that means I need to put a botanical on each of them. I've stripped lines of Scindapsus silveriane to create some movement. I started out with adding those, then the bigger flower shapes to start the rhythm. Then I wanted to add the color, but I soon realized that these had thicker stems than I practiced with, and the color was too dark as well, so I decided to leave them out. My umbrella came in 2 parts, so to make sure the top part wasn't crushing the flowers underneath, I occasionally had to put it on top to check. All of the materials I'm using right now can last for 2 days when glued. In order to be sure about that fact, I tested them out beforehand and notated their longevity. There's Eryngium and Hypericum from Marginpar, Lysianthus from Floral Fundamentals grower Lucht, Vanda orchids from Ansu, and of course the blue chrysanthemum from Decorum grower Arcadia Gisante. Originally, I've had some other beautiful botanicals planned, but unfortunately they didn't last during testing, like Zygopetalum Louisendorf, which I really thought worked well due to its interesting shape and colors, but sadly it only lasted for a few hours after being cut, so clearly it was not a good fit for this design. In the meantime, the technical judges kept a close eye on us to make sure we were following the rules. Now let's have a look at my fellow competitors who were also hard at work. In the end, I need to make sure that there's no glue strings showing, so I used a cotton swab. It's not easy to keep the plexiglass free from dust, botanical debris, fingerprints and such, but I think I managed well enough. Time to hang the umbrella. At home, Angelica and I practiced this many times and were able to do it within 2 minutes as we were familiar with where the hooks and such were. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to have an assistant, so we had to work together with the competition staff, which required some improvisation, but eventually it worked out.
Yes!
After it was hung up and a hard day of work, I could rest easy. Or at least, so I thought. Because, as we would later find out, there was an issue. I didn't do anything wrong, right?